Sorry about this. Okay, I'm going to start from the beginning again. Professor Edward Mondol from Canada is the founder and chief learning evangelist at Global Academy of Holistic Leadership and Coaching, YYCI, in Canada. He's also the CEO of Prerona Television in Canada. Professor Edward Mondol from Canada is also lives in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So if you're around that place, you can connect with him and learn from his academy. He has 20 years of professional experience as an academic, researcher, trainer, coach, and consultant. He taught as an academic at a number of universities in Canada, Bangladesh, and India. He's the chapter president of GARA, which is Global Academic Researcher Academic Canada. He authored number of books. He regularly presents keynote speeches with a number of universities and research organizations. He taught as a seasonal instructor at Mewa University, and is also the coordinator of CDI College, Canada. In Bangladesh, he taught at the International University of Business, Agriculture, and Technology, Bra University, Northern University, People's University, and Victoria University. In India, he worked with IMI Delhi and Kasat Kirana. He worked in international organizations as a senior research fellow. He worked as a consultant in the Ministry of Commerce, Bangladesh, Federation of Chambers of Commerce and Industries, International Labour Organization, European Commission, Royal Netherlands Embassy, UNPA, and many other corporate organizations. In Canada, he worked for the provincial government as an analyst. He is a certified trauma-informed coach and motivational speaker, an editor of Sustainability Watch, and CEO of Prerona Television Canada. So allow me now to welcome. He is a social entrepreneur. He founded CSR Bangladesh in 2008 and Corporate Sustainability and Responsibility Canada in 2015. He founded Canadian Museum of Bengali Civilization. He is a Rotarian and chair of Youth Committee for 2021 to 2022. He is a member of Edmonton Chambers of Commerce. He volunteered for a number of international organizations as a non-for-profit board member. He has run his own incorporated business named M Consultants since 2013. The management consulting firm provides service to small and medium scale industry in Canada. He worked for UPA's project as a consultant for reproductive health to train parliamentarians in Bangladesh. He has a number of research projects and publications. He is passionate about management, consultancy, entrepreneurship, research, and innovation, human rights, labor rights, workplace health and safety, poverty alleviation, community engagement. He is passionate about documentary filmmaking. He founded Global Academy of Holistic Leadership and Coaching, YYCI, a global knowledge platform. He regularly conducted leadership, sustainability, and motivational speaker series through his channel. He is passionately working towards knowledge-based, sustainable, inclusive society. So it's also our own Yes You Can International Country Director of Canada. Permit me to welcome Professor Dr. Edwards Mondol from Canada. The floor is yours. You are welcome.
Thank you very much. Let me share my screen if I'm allowed to. Okay, I'm humbled and I'm grateful to Almighty for His blessing. Many people, they are not in this world, but I'm fortunate to share my thoughts with you. I'm also grateful to Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas, a mentor, a person that I always admire and an inspiration. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas. Also, Professor Dr. Raghunath and Professor Dr. Nada, thank you for your valuable contributions to the society, and you were a change maker. Thank you for your contribution. Today, I will be sharing with you the role of conversational intelligence in building, managing relationship. Okay, so today's session is mostly on understanding the role of the conversation intelligence in building and managing relationship. So it is very important, as we know that just to let you know, today we'll be discussing about what is conversational intelligence and how it relates to work and life. As you know, as a person, right, we are dealing with family, and we is one part of life. So our life is important. Also, the workplace in a professional uh, workplace, we also need to use conversational intelligence. We also need to understand the science behind the conversational intelligence and how we can build trust. The previous speaker has already mentioned about building trust is very important. And then how we can get an extraordinary result uh, and generate a plan for self-development. As we know that always we learn. And as Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas, through the organization Yes You Can International, we can see that we are inspiring others, the community, for the development. As a person, right, for us, we need to learn and we need to generate a plan for self-development. Now here, we just need to understand that you never change things by fighting or fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. So this is very important to understand the thought process that why we need to do or why we need to do change, which is very important for us. Now, the other thing is also here, you can change your world by changing your words. Remember, death and life are in the power. So the words is important. The other way we can call it conversational intelligence. We can use the conversation, the words. If you're also thinking in the religious point of view, the words are very important. In any religion, previous speaker also mentioned the Buddhism, the Hinduism, and the Islam and the Christianity. The words are very important for is a part of our life, and it is a key for building relationship. Now the next one, just to share with you, which is one of my follow. It is actually authority of conversation intelligence. She's no more with us. She's from Canada. Her name is Judith E. Glazer, and I am actually conversation intelligence coach, in level 2 conversation coach through her academy institutions with international coaching federations. I took an course. So here what she says is to get the next level of greatness depend on the quality of the culture, which depends on the quality of relationships, which depends on the quality of conversations. Very important to understand. The next, now Before we go to understand the conversation intelligence, it's very important to understand that why we need conversation intelligence. What is the necessity for conversation intelligence? Now, our conversation skills are influenced by both biological factors like genetics and the environment we are raised in. We also develop social biases during the first impression, but it's possible to overcome them. So it's very important that we need to understand ourselves, understand about the biases and also the first impression. Now, while plenty of things set human apart from rest of the animal kingdom, perhaps none are more innovative than language. We build our social world through conversation. Very important. The late Judith Glaser, organization's anthropologist, called the hardwired and learned ability to connect, engage, and navigate with others conversational intelligence. When we learn communicate in ways that create a shared concept of reality, we can enhance our relationship, health, and overall well-being. As you know that when we talk or when we speak, when we communicate, it is very important to understand the other party and also build relationship, build trust. So, and we can enhance our relationship health and overall well-being. So conversation intelligence gives us the power to influence our neurochemistry even in the moment. One of the things that I learned in coaching exercise is eye contact and also listening power, right? We understand the client when we're listening, when you spend time with the clients. So it's very important. Conversation intelligence gives us the power to express our inner thoughts and feelings in one another way uh, that can strengthen relationships and success. Sometimes I can see one of my experience. I work with number of organizations here, but one of the example that I'd like to share is uh, sometimes clients or sometimes people are dealing with a lot of issues like stress, anxiety, depressions, many issues, and we never know. Sometimes it's very hard for us as a third party or as the other person to understand their feelings. So when we are spending time, even not even communicating, but with eye language and spending time with them, the other party can express their inner thoughts and feeling. So it is very important to be the support of the other person so that this process starts. The conversation intelligence gives us the power to influence the way we interrupt reality. Very important. Now, uh, we also discussed about that how we can build rapport. Right? This is called star skills. Building rapport. Listen actively. Very important when we are dealing with any person, even with the family. Listen actively. I remember my mom. She was very humble and simple lady. But anything that we learn, everything starts with the family that I understand. And then listen actively. My mom used to listen, what I used to say. So it's very passionate, thing. So when we listen, we feel there is someone. What are the expressions that we have? Okay, there is someone who is listening to me. I have a support. I have, when I'm in trouble, there is somebody is there. The thoughts, different thoughts are coming into my mind. Okay, I'm in trouble. I'm depressed. So there is someone who is listening actively. I remember my dad was busy, but when my mom used to give me time, she listened actively. And then I remember it's for all moms in the world, they listen actively. It's very important. So we learn from the family. Now, the other thing is ask smart questions. So when we ask question also, we need to ask question so that we can understand the other person and dramatize your message. You also need to send the message and they reinforce the success. So this is called the star skills that we need. So letter of conclusions, which is very important here, that conflicts live inside of the stories. Now we know in this world there are different types of peoples are there, and we do have situations where we may not agree on certain things. So there are difficult conversations. But how to deal with those difficult conversations? Difficult conversations often arise when people disagree with each other, leading to anger, frustration, avoidance, or even intimidation. Someone wants to be right. Oh, I am right. I am fighting for that. when people disagree, it is often how they interpret the facts and create different stories, different ways of interpreting the situations and conversations or event. Now here, the letter for conclusion is a useful tool to process for allowing people to share their stories in conversation, how they have created meaning from their own point of view. So what we are doing, we are helping them so that they can find the meaning, broadening one's understanding of the one person's story, which is empathy. Empathy is very important for building trust and come to a new understanding of how to move forward for mutual success. As we said earlier too, we need to have a situations where there is a win-win situation for both of us, the other party and me, or us. Now here, this is one of those uh, see the how it's actually affecting physically, right thing. So we can see when anything happens, the conversation happens, there is a bioreactions. We when we can see the face, we can see their expressions, the body language, we can see, and their feelings, and then become the thoughts and the beliefs, and finally the conclusion. So this is the conversations we'll discuss in detail. So the stepping down the this conversations here, the first step is the prepare. So what we do in this stage is we set up time to discuss the situation story in private. I remember one of the situation when I was working. He was the top of the organizations, and I used to work for the organizations. And the person, there is a elderly lady was there in that room, and the person, the my boss or the chief was insulting, or they were using. He's using some of the words which is not uh, very nice. So what I, what at that moment, what I told my boss is, if I'm here, please go in a private discussion and explain to that person. If the person has done mistake, explain the person. I was brave enough at that time, and I told the person very straightforward that please do that, because it is not nice, to ridicule someone, or be insult someone in public. So it is very important, right? When we if needed, we need to at least speak in private, be clear on the desired outcome, be clear on your intention, understand the impact it will have, practice with someone, peer coaching. So this is kind of practice. I understand it's not easy. Sometimes we find people, even with coaches, we always try to express, and always want to be right. As I said, when I start my career, I was a consultant. I work for many big organizations and multinational organizations. So I always have a consulting perspective. So when I have a consulting perspective, I have a best practices in the world. I have the best degree, or I have the best things. So when I was sharing with my clients, I share, oh, I have these things you have to follow, because you don't find an alternate. This is the best one. But when I start learning, when I grow up, and when I start learning about the coaching perspective, I see is we need to listen. We need to listen to the stories. We need to bring the impact to the spring. I started one of my business in 2013 here in Canada. So after coaching perspective, I see when I was uh, listening to the clients and see what's the problem, I gain more clients. Earlier, what I used to do is, okay, this is your problems, I will have solutions. And after 1 year, or after that period, they come back again. Oh, I still have the problem, right? And then as a consultant, right, for me, if I'm making money, I'm gaining, because I'm getting at that client again and again, and is financial, like monetary wise, I'm benefited. So for me, commercial, the world, is okay for me, because client is coming back and back again. So, but when I have the coaching perspective, I said, okay, let's solve these issues so that you don't, face the similar type of problem. So, and then when I started this exercise, what is happening now? The results. Talking of the result, I'm getting some referrals. See, I used to have probably, for example, maybe 20 clients. So now I'm having 40 clients, because these 20 clients are happy, and they're, referring more clients to me. So these are the examples when you have this coaching perspective and see, when you are listening these stories. The step one is the connect one. So set the context by saying you want to process the situations together, so that you have more able to have a healthy conversations about something that happened in the past. Let the person know that you want to end up with stronger relationship. Connection is very important. Now, the step two is the share story. Each person take a turn sharing their stories about situations. They share the facts, they share the feelings, they share the thoughts, they share the beliefs and conclusion, and listen without judgment. Sometimes, I have one exercise I really, remember this kind of a trauma to me. One of my peer coaching sessions with, I did couple of certification course in coaching certifications. One of the peer coach was very the way the approach was very detrimental for my psychological things, because he was always pushing or saying that that person is the best and like things. So it was not good for me. So when we are dealing with any person, even with the coaches, with the clients, it's very important to understand without judgment, listen without judgment. If you are like already have preoccupied ideas and you are already biased, and it's very difficult for to continue, because then I will be disengaged. Even though I feel like they seems to be listening, but I will disengage. I'll probably in the Zoom meeting, I will turn off my camera. I'll be, maybe I'll be in another room. I'm not listening, right? So it's very important to listen without judgment. Discover impact. The next one, discover the impact the situation had on each other. So it's very important. And we need to bring impact to other people, and that discover ripple effect. We discover the ripple effect it has on others, that we need to understand. And finally, partner, discuss how in the future you can do things differently, what actions and commitment you can make with each other for better outcome. Agree to touch base and give each other feedback and ensure you achieve their desired outcome. Very important. Now, I have seen a lot of my clients, because I'm a coach. I deal with like a leadership coach with the other CEO and executives, where they said there is no solution, right? They said, okay, this is the we are already done, right? This is not nothing we can do. We have tried so many ways or so many actions, but nothing happens. So, but it's very important to spend time, see how see the process and explain to the person that what happens. So in times, situation changes, because every time, we when we are thinking about the present, we don't know what will be happening in the future. So when we are discussing with the partner or with your clients, it is very important to uh, explain to them what actions and commitments we can make each other for better outcome. And I have a lot of success story. I can relate a lot of examples how my clients are benefited by doing that one. So remember the three things here. Be mindful of your conversation and the emotional content you bring, either pain or pleasure. Sometimes I've seen we also need pain, some pain, because I see that nothing you can gain unless you have that extension. But uh, remember, this is very important. So about be mindful of your conversation. Conversation have the ability to trigger emotional reactions. Remember, the words we use in our conversations are really neutral. Sometimes it's always biased, because when you say to other party, is always we always share our perspective. So learn from the worst conversation. How we can learn from the worst conversation? Now here we can see that I know that you believe you understand what you think I said, but I am not sure you realize that what you heard is not what I meant. It's happened all the time. So it's very important, very focused. We need to be very focused on, that the communications, that at the end of the day or end of the conversations, we need to provide the right message to the right person. So this is the Pentagon spokesperson, Robert McCloskey, during a press briefing about the Vietnam War. So now conversations are multidimensional, not linear. What we think, what we say, what we mean, what others hears, and how we feel about afterwards are the key dimensions of conversational intelligence. So what happened in the conversations, though conversations are not simply ask and tell level of disclosure, we often treat them as though they are. So it's very important to understand these conversations. Now, here, these are an example. See, uh, in conversations we have good intentions, bad impact. We have feel good and feel bad conversation. We have conversations trigger neurochemistry, making stuffed up, failure to connect, push and pull conversations. It's all in your head, reality gap. So these are the things I won't, because of time I won't discuss much details. But when we see this conversation has different examples, different examples for conversation. Now, lose trust and lose voice. We must trust and believe in people or life become impossible. Very important, because anything that we want to achieve for your business or for your family, um, conversation is very important. So we must uh, trust and believe in people or life become possible. So we need to trust people. And then distrust and trust. To understand this one, the knowing others in intelligence is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom, and mastering others is strength, and mastering yourself is true power. Very important. Mastering yourself is true power. It takes time. For me, when I told you, when I started my career, I was not focused, or I didn't learn the process. But when I learned during the period, I'm trying to understand myself and see, how I can contribute, how I can make impact to others. It's not that what I have, I know what I can do. It's important to what I can bring impact to others. Very important. I'm very much thankful and also grateful to Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas, because whatever you are doing, you are bringing changes to people's life. In this world, after COVID, before COVID, doesn't matter, but this world is very complex, and a lot of people are dealing with a lot of issues, like with families, with their work and everything. We need inspirations. We need motivations. We need guidance. We need to share our experience so that they can be benefited. And thank you for your leadership that you're doing through your channel, through your institute, that you're doing is very important for us. To this now, distrust to trust. The neuroscience of we triggers empathy and trust. So when we see the conversational dashboard here, we need to see that here, distrust and trust. So in the first area, the first is when we are listening is a level one, tell and ask. It's a very casual way of asking, what's your problem, and then ask these things. And without, people don't understand whether you have a really interesting thing or asking something, and they're telling, you're telling something or asking something. So this kind of a relationship, that perspective, sometimes this kind of low trust, people don't believe in you, or people just communicate with you for sake of doing it. The next level, if you go to the next level, is called advocate and inquire. So okay, so if I can resolve your issues, I can advocate you, or I can this inquest. This is a level two, is much more better way of how you communicate. So this approach is good, but the final, which is the best actually, is called share and discover. So where you share and discover and understand the person issues or problems, and you're trying to resolve the issues and problem. So this is a conversational dashboard. So just take an example here. For the distrust, when you're picking up any of the signals of distrust, our neurochemistry shifts more likely than not. Distrust produces, what distrust actually is doing here? Higher level of cortisols and the present of catecholamiне, which closes down our prefrontal cortex. So it's kind of I think more on neuroscience perspective. So you can see that on the trust level, what is happening. I won't go into the details, but in the trust level, trust, when you're picking up any of the signals of trust, our neurochemistry shifts more likely than not. Trust produces higher level of dopamine, happy hormone. So higher level of oxytocin, higher level of dopamine, which makes feel us good, feels more talkative and excited. So here you can see the distrust to trust. When you transfer to distrust to trust, it is good for your body, good for you physically. You are helping yourself. So now the other one is also very important. Just a minute here. Bioreaction. Conversations takes place at the chemical level of first and first step. Judgment are made within 7 seconds. So we can see it's too fast here, and the cortisols or oxytocin may go up, and our hearts may beat faster. The reactions at the moment of contact activates the network, either the protect and fear networks or trust networks. The feeling here, what is happening in the feeling? We label our conversation either good or feel bad. This translates into judgment about whether the person we are speaking is with a friend or foe. With a corresponding judgment, I can trust you or I can. The next is the thoughts. As we move up the ladder to the thought level, we put words in our feeling. We make meaning. Often we are making steps up. Yeah, I remember, when we are talking as a consultant or coaches, or coaches especially, sometimes we are making steps up. Right? And I can see, some clients that do that. Beliefs. Once we make up stories, we create meaning. We pull in other beliefs that we about situations or person. We drop our past experience and we affirm our thoughts. I am a suicide, intervention, things like also psychological safety, first aid. A lot of things I have done, like with the mental health things. I'm talking with the clients, some clients has previously attempted suicide, or they have a lot of, they have thoughts of self harming. So when we talk to the person, then we said, okay, my first experience said I also had the same thoughts, but these are the examples that I think, but I overcome. So we shared our examples so that we can motivate the other person dealing with the stress, anxiety, or depression. The conclusion is, when we have reached conclusion, we blocked out the a lot of other people's opinion. We stop seeing or hearing other points of view. We may even move to a state of denial. So this is a very dangerous. Like at the end, right? We be careful in this area, where when we are concluding, it is very sometimes we block the other person's opinion, and we don't write this one. So we have to be very careful when we're making into that decision. Now, the one of the step for trust, because through trust building, we can create the environment, and then we can get better result. Now, there are a lot of things, but I'll share with you very simple way, because you can understand. There are a lot of things that we can do to
Are you
understand. So communication is very important for us, and then be transparent, very important. Be transparent and stand up what's right. I said it, I remember I have done, like as an academic, I didn't compromise in many of the examples. I had to sacrifice in academic integrity, I think. So stand up for what is right, even though temporarily it seems that is a loss, or you may have financial impact on that, but stand up for what's right. Show people that you care. You have to show up, right? It's very important. And be helpful. Be helpful when you be helpful, and be vulnerable. So this is very important for trust. So take the lead, refocus. So we say, when you said transparency to quelling fear, we said take the leads. So, and then relationship through heart coherence. We speak about the like reaching the people. So how we can do that? Take the leads, extend your olive branch even with the people you may see as foes. Connect and engage in building relationship. Extending trust sends messages of friendship that shifts the energy towards appreciation. Heart appreciation shifts our attention and intention, seek connectivity, reduces fear of power over energy, and build power with connectivity. Then what do you do? Refocus on engaging heart brain by shaping the conversation to extend trust by sending messages of appreciation to others. You have done great work. You have done, you have been like, and I really, admire. Right now, we have seen example. Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth was so humble, and she, when I was talking to Professor Raghunath, I see that the leadership style and the quality and the example that she shows, that when she is acknowledging the contributions of Professor Raghunath, and see when she was saying a lot of words, it is actually is appreciation. This is helping appreciation. These are very great examples that Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth has shown. So when we refocus on heart appreciation, we create high level of heart coherence, which enable us to activate the wisdom of five brains. Very important. Understanding the next one, understanding through sharing and understanding the needs of emotion. We need to take the leads here. Be inclusive. Invite people into the inner cycle. Inclusive, as I said, be open and that openly about their need and aspirations, refrain and relabel uncomfortable conversations, and opportunity to get know what each other's mind. Listening with the focus in mind and heart opens new channels of communications and quells doubts about where I fit in. So what is happens is this moves us from states of distrust of other intentions towards understanding and trusting each other. So trusting each other. So it's very important. We are moving to trusting each other. So what we do here in refocus on engaging a limbic brain by inviting others, by included openly in conversations about their needs and emotions, stepping in each other's shoes and seeing the world from another eyes validates in other person's worldview. Very important for I think I work one of the largest NGO in the world. It's called BRAC. Actually, I think he is also awarded the SAR, the Lordship from the UK. Is this person? He is no more. He passed away. Sir Fazle Hassan Abed. His organization is called BRAC, and they have more than 100,000 employees. It's a very large organization. I work for that organizations. Um, I have seen the humility and the humbleness when he was dealing with the very simple the worker, right? Those who were communicating with that person, because they have a lot of like this organization has banks, they have university, they have a lot of corporations, very big conglomerate. So but you see, whoever you are, whatever you are, you might be a big scientist, you might be a Nobel laureate, whoever you are, very important to understand the other person, understand these things. It's very important to communicate the other person, because the true examples is not showing your greatness, but showing yourself to help other people, which is very important. I really admire Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth, and he is inspiring around the globes. This one, share success through opening minds to others and creating strategies for mutual success. Take the leads, have conversations that focus on mutual success. Very important. Mutual success means you win, I win, everybody wins, right? So it's very important. Mutual success. Lower your attachment for being to being right, and shift the conversation from entrancement to discovery. Look at the what success means, each other's point of view. Build benchmarks for measuring success. Focus on co-creating what success looks like with others. Very important. So we need to always validate and ask these questions. Refocus on engaging the cortex by shaping conversation to enable you to put issues and conflicts on the table without fear and reappraisal and retribution. Wave deeper threats to trust into the relationship. Very important. So we need to take the lead. We need to refocus. So the finally, I think the step 5 be testing assumptions and telling the truth. True to truth, empathy, and judgment. So how we can take the lead here? Test perceptions and assumptions about reality. Focus on closing the gaps between what we expect and what you get with others. What we do is step into each other's shoes and see the world from the other person's perspective. The highest level of trust that we humans are able to experience together, then truth can be discovered together and one view of the world emerges. Very important. Refocus. How we refocus here on engaging and prefrontal cortex, the executive brain, by shaping conversation that let you step into each other's shoes and see the world from another perspective. Very important. So shifting now, what should be our role here? Is shifting from I to we. Always we say I. I remember when I start my career, I give example. I say I did, I. I'm very brave enough. I said, okay, yeah, I had mistakes. I learned, but over a period of time, is we. It's not I. Is we. We need to shift from I to we. Then we can change the world. Because if I, then people are not engaging. They are not listen to us. So what is our purpose? We should work together. So I-centric is secrecy, closed doors, threats, lack of clarity, lack of alignment. When you say we-centric is openness, sharing of threats, intentions, aspirations, and objectives, movement toward establishing common and aligned objectives. Very important. Sorry. Okay, just a minute. This one. Okay. Okay, so this three level, I have few minutes, so I'll just conclude within shortly. So the level one is the examples here. The level one is, are you okay with taking the second writing example to add our marketing material? So when we take, this is a conversations example. The when you go to the level two, I am fascinated by the second sample. It's got all the qualities of great writing. How are you thinking about it? Can you join me in these decisions? Is anything stopping you from getting on board with this? But when you see the examples of level three, this is all the conversational example. Level three, which of the writing example will achieve the best outcome for our sales, promotions, or marketing? What assumptions do you hold the project success that we should consider as we have conversations? How would you describe success in this situation? Yes, clarity, yes, the directions. Are there any feared implications that we should consider? We talk more about before we decide. See, here is more common objective and so mutual success. See, so this is an example how we use conversations. So you can write, you can do this exercise. When we are talking at family, when you're talking with your workplace, some of the conversations, see level one, level two, and level three. You can do this exercise. Very important. So these are the three different area for conversations. What we learned today is a summary. You can say level one is transactional relationship, transactional communications. Level two is positional, and level three is transformation. And I think Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth is example of transformational leadership. And thankful for you. What do you exchange in level one? Exchange information, which is tell and ask. And level two is the positional, exchange power, advocate and inquire. And then level three is transformational, exchange energy, share and discover. So here, and then interaction dynamics here for level one is ask and tell. For level two is advocate and inquire, and level three is share and discover. For space, it is a closed space and it limits space, and level three is create space. So these are the examples. If you want, I'll just go further, but these are the examples of how we can transform the uncomfortable conversations to the conversations. So there are the few steps that you should follow or we can follow. Step one is set the context for caring, courage, and candor. How will you prime for the conversations? You can write, this is an exercise that you can do. Step two, explore desired outcome. What desired outcome can come, right, when we are discussing? And then step three is a shared perspective with caring, courage, and candor. And step four is discover what is important to both of you. And then step five is contract for success. So this is an example. That's what we have shared here. So deconstructing the conversation. In what way did you set the context of the conversation, or context of caring, courage, and candor? And the step is what desired outcome did you hope for the conversations? Step three is what perspectives were shared in this conversation, if any? What was important to you in this conversation? What do you think was important to the other persons? Was there any contract for future or mutual success? Uh, and if not, how could your conversation have changed if there is any agreement for mutual success? The simple thing is what we have learned today is nothing, right? If you follow this sheet or exercise worksheet, this is the exercise we should do every time doing learning. This is learning thing. If you are doing a journal or understand that you can, I will tell you my business, I get more clients by doing this one. So you do your thing, even building relationship, it can help you for building relationship. So I think my time is almost up right now. So here, what I like to share with you is, so what happens when you practice conversation intelligence in your life? So you can see after doing this exercise, you can see that what happens. You can see for me, it's a lot of impact, and I'm very grateful, the lessons that I learned. And this is an example that for today, what you have learned, what you can do right now, and what you are going to stop doing if you're doing certain thing which is not helping you. So, and then what I keep doing, if you're doing great things, so you can list down, and you might have some mentor or someone who will be hold you accountable for it. So you can this is just an accountability worksheet that will help you for doing any future things. So anyway, thank you very much. This is on behalf of Global Academy of Holistic Leadership and Coaching, and also yes, you can International Canada chapter. I think I'm part of the yes International thing. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas, and all the audience. And some of you will be listening later through the channel. Yes, you can International page, Facebook page, YouTube channel, and I all encourage you to watch the channel, and you will learn a lot of things. And I pray for all of you so that we can have a mutual success and we can help each other. And with that, thank you very much. And great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Edward Murdoch from Canada. Thank you for your valuable teaching, your wisdom, your experiences, and even your knowledge that you have shared with us this morning, this afternoon, and this evening. Once again, I want to appreciate your time of waking up in the middle of the night. What's your time now in Canada? Is it?
The
What's it?
time is now is 5:39 in the morning. So I wake up around
Wow.
3 o'clock. So like actually two,
Wow. We
yeah,
really appreciate your time.
yeah,
And I believe all our audience as well. If you can,
yeah,
just send him love, because it
yeah.
this is a big sacrifice, a big commitment for somebody to wake up around 2 o'clock and to join us, and also sharing his valuable wisdom and knowledge with us on this platform. So I want to say thank you so much, Professor Dr. Muda from Canada.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your
Thank
teaching.
you.
And I hope we will see more of you, because remember, if I should remind you again, you are still our we are still our country director of Canada. So let's come together, work together, build together, and impact into other people's life. I want to believe that all my audience, you've learned a lot today. And if you still have any questions to ask, feel free to ask in the next few minutes, and then we'll be able to continue by rounding up and just sharing some information about YYCI International. So once again, Professor Dr. Edward, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen so that I can give information of YYCI, and then we're going to end up today's section. If you are still around, I will love you to do the closing prayer if you are still around after my announcement. Is that okay, Professor Doctor?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let me share the information.